The story opens deep in a peaceful forest, where a middle-aged man named Tajima is relentlessly punching a tree as part of his training. His motivation goes all the way back to childhood. He grew up obsessed with a superhero show called Kamen Rider. Even when his worried mother tried to get him to eat, little Tajima only cared about catching the next episode. Seeing how happy the show made him, his mom felt reassured enough to head to work, knowing he wouldn't feel lonely. With eyes full of admiration, Tajima watched his hero battle the evil shocker with unwavering justice. Inspired, he made a promise to himself. One day, he wouldn't just watch a hero, he would become one. Years later, Tajima enters high school. One afternoon, his crush, Emily, suddenly grabs his hand and pulls him aside. Nervous and blushing, she confesses her feelings to him. Tajima, overwhelmed with joy, accepts immediately, only for Emily to apologize a moment later. Confused, he realizes the horrible truth. Her confession was a prank. Her boyfriend, Kitagawa, steps out and explains she lost a bet and was dared to fake confess to him. Instead of reacting, Tajima simply turns around and walks away, leaving the entire crowd stunned. Emily watches him leave with regret. Still hurt, Tajima wanders to a riverside to collect his thoughts. He remembers how, as kids, everyone would play rock, paper, scissors to choose who got to pretend to be Kamen Rider for the day. Even back then, Tajima thought being a hero wasn't a game. It was a lifelong commitment to helping others. His thoughts are interrupted when Emily runs up, genuinely apologizing. After she apologizes again, Tajima calmly tells her it's fine and sits with her. Emily admits she thinks most boys at school act like troublemakers, but Tajima is different. Quiet, mysterious, and always practicing his hero training alone. As the two grow closer, their moment is ruined by a group of punks. Their leader mocks Emily for leaving Kitagawa and assumes she's trying to date Tajima. Believing Tajima is a harmless nerd, he grabs Emily, trying to force her away. Tajima instantly twists the boy's arm, shocking the group. Enraged, the leader swings at him, but Tajima easily blocks the punch and knocks him out in a single strike. The lackeys rush in, but Tajima catches their kicks with his bare hands and drops them with 2 swift blows. Emily watches in disbelief as Tajima simply says he was returning the favor for their attacks before quietly leaving. On the ground, the defeated leader curses Tajima's name. The next morning, while Emily walks to school, the punks ambush her and kidnap her. The leader rallies all his boys outside Tajima's school, threatening to hurt her if Tajima doesn't show himself. Students whisper that Kitagawa's gang isn't around to stop them, so Tajima steps forward alone. The leader rants about getting revenge for his humiliation, but Tajima calmly calls them out, reminding them they're nothing more than spoiled kids pretending to be gangsters while living off their parents' pocket money. As Tajima calls out the punks for pretending to be tough while contributing nothing to society, the entire group freezes in embarrassment. Emily, watching from the sidelines, finds herself even more drawn to Tajima's calm confidence. The leader, unable to come up with a comeback, resorts to the only thing he knows, violence. He charges at Tajima, and the rest of the gang piles on. This time, the swarm overwhelms him, and Tajima collapses to the ground after taking a brutal beating. The punks seize their chance, dragging Emily away as she screams for help. But everyone around her looks the other way. Desperate, she cries out Tajima's name, her voice cutting through the chaos. That single plea sparks something inside him. Beaten and bleeding, Tajima forces himself back to his feet, his eyes burning with determination. Even the punks recoil when they see his expression. Tajima rips off his shirt, revealing a strange tattoo on his stomach, then strikes an exaggerated pose. He shouts his transformation call and declares that he has become Kamen Rider. The punks burst out laughing at the sight of his childish stance, mocking him for acting like a kid right after lecturing them about maturity. Their laughter doesn't last. In an instant, Tajima sends the leader flying with a punch so strong it might as well have launched him into the stratosphere. Emily watches in stunned silence as Tajima dismantles the rest of the gang with ease. When the dust settles, she timidly approaches and asks who he really is. Tajima answers honestly. He is Kamen Rider, but his blood-covered face terrifies her, and she runs away in tears, leaving him shattered. The rejection crushes him. For the first time, Tajima regrets ever transforming. After 23 years of training alone, he finally accepts the truth. Kamen Rider and Shocker were just characters from a children's show. No matter how hard he tries, he can't become the flawless hero he idolized. He vents his frustration by furiously attacking a tree, screaming into the empty forest. In a moment of despair, he wishes someone, anyone, from the show would appear and take him away. His wish is answered, but not by Shocker, by a bear drawn to the noise. The creature roars aggressively, not realizing it's picked a fight with a man whose obsession turned him into a monster of his own kind. The bear charges, but Tajima grabs its paw and flips it over, startling the beast. It attacks again, but is stopped by a sharp chop to the throat. Even when it manages to slash his chest, Tajima counters with an elbow that sends it collapsing. Decades of fanatical training have given him real, terrifying strength. Yet, even after defeating a bear, he doesn't feel proud. At 40 years old, he still believes heroes only exist on TV. Later, he visits a warehouse and sells his entire Kamen Rider collection. The shop owner is shocked, but Tajima explains he'd rather the items go to someone who appreciates them than be thrown away after his lonely death. That night, he drinks a cheap beer for dinner and scrolls through videos on his phone. Suddenly, he freezes. A news broadcast announces that real Shocker villains have appeared. They attacked a convenience store near his home and used the same poses from the show. But when the footage airs, Tajima's excitement fades. These criminals look nothing like the true villains he spent his childhood idolizing. They're just small-time crooks copying poses, not foes worthy of a hero. The next morning, on his way to work, Tajima passes shopkeepers preparing for an upcoming fireworks festival, unaware that his life is about to take a drastic turn. When Tajima arrives at his construction job, he overhears his coworkers talking excitedly about the recent Shocker attacks. Tajima keeps quiet, still refusing to believe Shocker could ever exist in reality. Later that day, he watches the news again, only to learn that one of the 3 Shocker criminals was arrested after trying to mug someone twice his size. In the police interview, the man admits he only found the courage to commit crimes by shouting Shocker catchphrases, something the officers clearly find ridiculous. Later that evening, Tajima visits the fireworks festival. As he walks among the glowing lanterns and colorful stalls, he hears children talking happily to their fathers. This triggers a memory from his own childhood. His dad once handed him an unusually large amount of spending money for the festival. Little Tajima, thrilled, ran off without realizing his father was watching him with a strange expression before quietly leaving. Back in the present, Tajima approaches a takoyaki stall and buys a serving. He blows on the hot octopus balls and takes a bite, momentarily enjoying the warm festival atmosphere. Meanwhile, in a shadowy alley nearby, a local gang boss named Nakao hands out Shocker masks to his followers. He tells them they're going to terrorize festival goers by pretending to be villains. One thug questions why they have to act like characters from a kids' show. Nakao proudly admits he always liked Shocker more than Kamen Rider and declares himself the true monster, while the rest are just minions. Awkward or not, they obey. A moment later, the masked thugs burst into the festival, striking exaggerated Shocker poses. They intimidate an elderly takoyaki vendor, then begin smashing his stall for no reason. Tajima turns around, stunned. This chaotic attack looks exactly like the Shocker crimes he's seen on TV. The vendor tries to defend his stand, and the crowd murmurs, wondering why Shocker is targeting him. Tajima stands frozen, overwhelmed by fear and disbelief, as the masked goons overpower the old man. Hearing the vendor beg for help, Tajima finally moves. He walks to a festival booth, buys a cheap Kamen Rider mask, and stares at it. Transforming again terrifies him, but he knows someone needs him. Summoning his courage, he puts the mask on. Instantly, he feels a familiar surge of righteous energy. Heart-pounding, Tajima steps forward and yells at the attackers to stop. Nakao watches from a distance as the goons surround Tajima, mocking him for pretending to be a hero. Shaking with emotion, Tajima declares in a trembling voice that he is Kamen Rider. The words hit him harder than any punch, fulfilling a dream he's carried since childhood. Tears well in his eyes. The thugs pause, confused by the strange name, while onlookers pull out their phones and begin recording. With tears rolling down his cheeks, Tajima warns them that he's serious and drops into a fighting stance. The goons flinch as he lets out a battle cry and knocks 2 of them out with devastating punches. He then leaps onto a stall for height and comes crashing down with a powerful rider-style kick that floors the final masked thug. The entire festival falls silent. Tajima stands there, trembling with adrenaline, half terrified, half exhilarated. But when he notices everyone staring at him in shock, he panics and bolts from the scene.